I go to a couple of things, but first, the ball is in Mitch McConnell's court. You heard the Congresswoman say it explicitly there. They're moving pieces of legislation in the House of Representatives. Here we have Mitch McConnell again. It's not just pro-life issues, it's multiple issues. Mitch McConnell is citing on the rules of the United States Senate, which he can modify, he can change, versus really life-changing legislation that can hit the president's desk.
Well, this shows the importance of elections. When you look at what we have in the Senate, where we've got 51 Republicans, and a couple of those are kind of squishy, this is where we cannot fall back and grow complacent or throw up our hands in frustration. We've got to continue to push forward, as Martha was talking about it in the interview earlier, how the House is very strong. Ideologically, the most conservative pro-life House we've seen since Roe v. Wade, and they have sent a number of the bills over. And Lindsey Graham's actually carrying the pain-capable bill in the Senate. We can get a vote, but we don't have the votes to pass the bill in the Senate. So this is, again, this is why pro-lifers in America, who are in the majority, cannot grow complacent nor weary in what they're doing.
And without abortion, let's be clear here. Entities like Planned Parenthood necessarily go away. They say that they're about reproductive rights. They don't offer mammograms. They don't do services. They're an abortion mill. And in New York City, there's an ad campaign out right now. As disgusting and gross and vulgar as it is, we tried to clean. Our editors worked hard, several hours, to clean up this one little 20-second snippet I want to play, okay? Roll tape.
The loudest upstairs neighbor.
Me.
Your hottest bartender.
Anyone in fashion.
Dancers.
Brokers.
Somebody say broker?
New York and everyone in it.
You know, New Yorkers ought to reject this summarily. The message it's sending to young people is unbelievable from an entity that supposedly cares about young people. But the bottom line here is that this video, to me, proves what I've been saying for many, many years. And you've been saying, too, that Planned Parenthood is an abortion mill.
Oh, without question. Look, this PSA campaign of Planned Parenthood in the Big Apple is rotten to the core. And look, Graham, I think you would agree with me. You know, people have a right. They have they're free to have a discussion or conversation about the intercourse, or even as disgusting as it may be. But what they're not free to do is to force taxpayers to fund it. And that's what is so offensive about this, beyond the language, which is offensive, believe me. I mean, you had more bleeps than you had words in that.
Right.
But here's what's happening. $500 million a year going into the coffers of Planned Parenthood, the nation's largest abortion provider, from taxpayers. This is where Congress really needs to get on the stick. And if they had any qualms about defunding Planned Parenthood, this latest undertaking in New York City should take care of all of that. There should be a renewed push. And by the way, Grant, we would have done that had it not been for John McCain. He was the one vote on the reconciliation that kept Planned Parenthood from being defunded.
I don't know what it's going to take to get Congress to defund Planned Parenthood, but it's long, long overdue. Real quick, Tony, before I let you go, Brett Kavanaugh, I think that what we're seeing here is the left, a.k.a. Planned Parenthood, in a state of panic, knowing that Kavanaugh could get on the United States Supreme Court. They're trying to make this all about Roe versus Wade and abortion when it's not. It needs to be about the Constitution. That said, there is a case out there pending. I think that you and I have talked about this out of Iowa that may be a game changer in the United States Supreme Court, and that is the heart-capable bill out of Iowa that greatly restricts abortion. This is a case that could make it to the Supreme Court. You agree?
Yeah, there's actually a couple of these heartbeat bills that are making their way through the process. But look, the prevailing law right now is Planned Parenthood versus Casey, I think in 1992. We're actually seeing the nation move away from the radical nature of Roe v. Wade.
Right.
We're one of 7 nations that allow abortion all the way to the end of pregnancy. So I think we're making progress here, and I think ultimately what happens, A court that adheres to the rule of law and abides by the Constitution is going to eventually turn this back to the states, and predominantly America will be a pro-life nation again.
Yeah, and I think the framers of the Constitution would applaud and agree with that, at least, at the very least, turning it back to the states to decide. Tony, thank you.
Want to see more videos like this? Click on the link below and subscribe to One America News on YouTube, and call your cable provider and kindly demand that One America News is added to your lineup. Call and subscribe today.